What's going on, guys? This is Miasin. So my last OCG metagame breakdown video, I actually covered how SPLIGHT was now a tier 0 deck because it's almost dominating at a 60% representation in, tournaments, which is ridiculous. Like 51 top performing decks from 10 tournaments that were held like the span of like 5 days or something. This is nothing. It's going to be even more, in the next couple of weeks. SPLIGHT was already at, 56.8%? Yeah, that's huge. 29 decks out of 51. Ridiculous. Insanity. And this article today, that was of course published by your boy Akira, will be explaining how SPLIGHT is such a ridiculous deck, of course going into detail. So before this video starts, make sure you like and subscribe, check me out on Twitch and Instagram, and now let's jump right into it. So of course SPLIGHT is a new deck from Power of the Elements, we all know that, and we're going to be getting it, I think, September in the TCG. So YCS Niagara, YCS Pasadena, and I forgot the other one, YCS Minneapolis. Yes, those 3 YCSs, they will be featuring SPLIGHT. So my man, get your wallet ready because this deck is going to be costing you an arm. And buy your Toads, buy your Frogs, buy all these cards that currently exist right now. So yes. Anyways, the number 1 combo starter is just 1 card. So SPLIGHT starter, you summon the SPLIGHT blue from your deck during the draw phase, so you can play around Effect, Veiler, and Droll and Logbird. And then you search the Jet, you summon the Jet that searches another Interruption or the starters, but SPLIGHT Smashers is actually a banishing card, so that's pretty nice. And then you have your SPLIGHT blue plus SPLIGHT Jet in order to make the Gigantic SPLIGHT, the rank 2, the Xyz over here. And you're going to be summoning the Swap Frog from the deck, send Ronin Toad in. Now you're going to be using these 2 monsters to make the SPLIGHT Elf, revive back the Swap Frog, use the effect of Swap Frog again to send the Swap Frog, and then Ronin Toad in, summon from grave by banishing Swap Frog, make Toad, and during your opponent's turn, you actually have 2 negates. So first of all, you summon the Dewfrog, that's not an interruption though, but you're going to be able to negate something with Toad, and then you're going to be using the effect of SPLIGHT Elf. So while your opponent controls a monster, you can afford to, you can actually revive a non-level 2 monster from your grave, as long as it's like rank or link 2. So yeah, you can revive back your Toad just like that on your opponent's turn. Absolutely freaking ridiculous. So 2 negates with just 1 single card, and actually 3 negates because, well, 2 negates plus 1 interruption. This could either be starters that would be summoning Carrot or Red from your deck to your field on your opponent's turn. So that would be another negate, or you can get the Smashers, which would be a banishing effect. So either way, you have freaking 3 interruptions with 1 single card, and you do not lose to Droll and Logbird, and you do not lose to Nibiru because your Gigantic SPLIGHT, the rank 2 SPLIGHT Xyz monster, prevents both players from summoning non-level rank or link 2 monsters for the rest of the turn, which is the reason why this deck is very, very hard to stop with hand traps. Alright, now this combo, I actually kind of forgot how it could actually work because for some reason, I thought that the link 2 SPLIGHT monster, the SPLIGHT Elf, actually required 2 level 2 or rank 2 or link 2 monsters, but that is not the case. So just with Swap Frog, you can also make multiple interruptions. So you're going to be going normal summon Swap Frog, send Rodent Toad in, and then make Salamangreat Elmirage, as you can see here. And then banish the Swap Frog to summon the Rodent Toad in back. Make the SPLIGHT Elf revive back the Rodent Toad in, and then you're going to be using the Rodent Toad in with the SPLIGHT Elf, the Link 2 monster, to make Gigantic SPLIGHT. Yes, it feels really weird to make an Xyz monster using a Link monster, but that is something you can do, my man. Now you're going to be going Gigantic SPLIGHT, summon the Swap Frog from the deck by detaching Ronin Toadin. You have to be aware of the fact that the Gigantic SPLIGHT doesn't detach for cost. So if you ogre the card, it actually acts as a gamma because you do not summon at all. It doesn't resolve since detaching is a part of the effect. So if it doesn't detach, it cannot resolve the effect to summon from the deck. Anyways, Swap Frog, send Swap Frog, Ronin Toad in, revive back, banish Swap Frog, and then make Toad, and just like that, you have a negate. You have Toad with Swap Frog, and you don't even have to play a single SPLIGHT monster. So even Paleozoic Frog can now use just 2 monsters in the extra deck to make Toad with a single Swap Frog, which is insanity. Now, the next combo would be Deep Sea Diva. So Deep Sea Diva alone is also terrifying. Deep Sea Diva, summon Deep Sea Diva from the deck. You don't even have to play Neptibus plus any of the other Atlantean or Mermail cards. So just minimal investment still allows you to end on a huge board. So now you're going to make a Gigantic SPLIGHT, summon Swap Frog from the deck. Obviously, every single time you're always trying to summon Swap Frog. and then send Ronin Toadin, get the Splight Elf, revive back Swap Frog, and then Soft Frog, send Swap Frog, Ronin Toadin, revive, make Toad, and you have the very similar setup and end board as combo number 1, except that you do not have the Quick Play spell card that, again, could be starters to summon Carrot or Red for a monster or spell and trap negate, or the Smashers, which would banish a, I think, Splight monster from your grave and field to banish a card your opponent controls. Anyways, combo number 4, and this is where it gets into the terrifying territory. So, normal summon Swap Frog and then send Ronin Toadin, summon the Splight Blue, which searches Splight Jet, Blue searches a monster, and Jet searches a spell or trap, and then you're going to be searching the starter, which is going to be summoning Splight Red. Now you are no longer afraid of hand traps because Splight Red negate monster effects, so this card. And now you're going to be making Gigantic Splight, obviously, summon Maxi from the deck. Oh my god! And now you're going to be using the Gigantic Splight and the Swap Frog for Splight Elf, and then you're going to be reviving back the Swap Frog, send Swap Frog, and use the effect of Swap Frog to bounce back the Maxi from your field to the hand to get an additional normal summon of a frog monster, but you don't even have to have a frog monster in your hand to do that. So being able to summon Maxi from the deck and then bouncing it back from your field to the hand is absolutely ridiculous. Oh my god, you can search Maxi indirectly. You can be under mistake. You can like not be able to search cards and still get Maxi to your hand because it's such a unique mechanic. You're summoning Maxi to bounce it back with Swap Frog. That's so freaking ridiculous. And yeah, anyways, the rest of the setup is the exact same. So 2 negates, 3 negates, and a hand trap with just 2 cards. Bruh. Next combo, Deep Sea Diva and Splight Blue. Very similar, I'm not really going to be covering it that much, but this time, instead of Gigantic Splight summoning your Maxi, you're going to be making Needle Fiber since Deep Sea Diva is a tuner monster, summon Ash from your deck, and then use Swap Frog to return back the Ash from your field to the hand, and this will be a TCG legal combo. So you can bounce back Effect Veiler, Ash, well, actually, yeah, you can. It's just that I don't recommend it because Ash is objectively better. You can negate a lot of terrifying cards with that. And this gives you, you know, coverage for Dark Ruler No More. So if you get hit by Dark Ruler No More, you don't cry about it because you still have a really scary negate in the form of Ash in your hand and 3 other cards, because this is minimalistic setup. It's only 2 cards to get there. So with 2 cards, you have a card that can stop your opponent's other cards, and you still have a bunch of other cards in your hand, and your opponent had to draw Dark Ruler, because if he doesn't draw Dark Ruler, I don't see how you lose if you have this board. So, terrifying deck. And finally, any level 2 monster in the game, quite literally, and Splight Blue ends on this board. Again, you can normal summon Maxi and then summon Splight Blue, and it ends on all of this, which is 3 negates and Maxi. What the heck? And again, in case you were wondering, how do you get the 3rd negate on the board? I only see Toad and Red. The Toad negates twice because you send itself and then you revive itself back with a Splight Elf, so you're gonna have another Toad that can negate again. Another thing that I should be covering would be the fact that when you negate with Toad, you negate and steal the card, so that's really scary. If you negate cards like, I don't know, a really good card like Pot of Desires, you're actually gonna get the card to yourself. So next turn, you apply even more pressure on your opponent, and that's a follow-up card. And also, you recycle back your water from your graveyard, which is also a form of follow-up. And the second time you negate with Toad, you can send the Doofrog instead. So you keep the Toad on the field, and next turn your opponent activates something on your own turn, you negate again, and then you recycle back again, and you steal again. This is ridiculous. And you have a hand trap, so yeah, just way too much value off of only 1 card starters and sometimes 2 card starters, which is absolute insanity. But yeah, in conclusion, this is a big one. The most significant advantage that Splight has is the fact that it's ridiculously consistent. So, like I said, every level 2 Splight monster is an extender from the hand, so you don't never really like have you can always special summon more monsters, and they're inherent summons. So in the OCG, your opponent has to maxi before you even summon the monsters, because you don't say like effect of my Splight Blue in hand, you just summon it, just like Cyber Dragon. So Splight Blue and Splight Jet that can be summoned by a Splight starter can easily search for the others, and then you can easily go for the full combo, get your Toad, and negate with, of course, this combo with Splight Elf reviving back the Toad. So yeah, just double negate right there. And the fact that it's a quick play spell card makes it really, really insane, because again, you can use it on your opponent's turn, after you already used it on your own turn to summon another negate on your opponent's turn, which would be the red or carrot. I already explained that, so you don't necessarily have to get these Splight Smashers. You don't even have to play the card if you don't want to. So the deck is ridiculously consistent. It makes a lot of negates, and yeah, you can actually search freaking hand traps by bouncing them back to your hand with Swap Frog. This is ridiculous. And again, it's still going to be relevant to the TCG, so definitely do not sleep on that. And yeah, it would be able to just do a lot of things. And this is actually one of the coolest parts, but it's not going to be like super impactful in the TCG. So let's just say you use a hand trap on your opponent's turn, like a Max C, for example, and your opponent goes Call by the Grave. You can go Splight Elf to revive back your Max C, so it dodges the Call by the Grave that way. But in the TCG, it's irrelevant because Max C is banned, so yeah, if you go like Ash, it's a level 3 monster, so you can't revive it back with Splight Elf. And finally, this is also a pretty good thing. So Splight could also quickly end games with Gigantic Splight and Cat Shark. So you can attack twice with a monster that has 3200 attack. And another thing is, if you really want to stop this deck, you really have to stop the Gigantic Splight, the rank 2 Xyz monster from resolving. So you can use Ghost Ogre, Effect Veiler, Ash, etc., Gamma. These cards are good. The other hand traps not ideal. Well, Imperm obviously is good. But you're not really trying to play Nibiru and Joel and Logbird. Those cards are not good. Ghost Reaper is actually pretty nice. And Dark Ruler is decent, but again, since you're searching hand traps, it might not be enough, because you only need like 1 or 2 cards for your combo to work, which means that you can play multiple hand traps, such as like 15, which is ridiculous. So the deck has a very good recovery. Obviously, you don't need too much commitment to be able to play, and it is very explosive and very, very proactive. Yeah, definitely do not sleep on the fact that this will be tier 0 in the TCG as well. It's already tier 0 in the OCG, as we can clearly see from this pie chart, which is just the first of many, by the way. The last time I saw, a deck be that represented was Spiral, so even Phantom Knight with Brave token wasn't as good, and the deck was, expected to be very good in the TCG. It wasn't, because other decks could have used the Brave engine a little better. We had Based, we had the Prank Kids, etc., but now things are going to be huge. So that's pretty much it for this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.